Good time for me to blow my nose.
Well, it says I'm live, so I hope I am. Welcome aboard for Virtual Collage Jam on Monday, April 24th. And we're working with the theme of this image. One moment, please. This image, posted by Paris Collage Collective. Sounds like we have sound, so that is a good thing.
We have sound. I have picture.
sound. Yay, sound. Yeah, so we'll be working with this image. Paris Collage Collective. From Paris Collage Collective, they post a weekly challenge every week of the year, and it's always image-based. Unlike usually we use word prompts, and I thought it'd be nice to use an image prompt this time. So one of my first questions for you, everyone, is...
Who is this person sitting across the table from Kal?
That was the next item on the list, but who is that person over there?
Well, I do think that, introducing yourself and introducing your co-host is usually the way things begin.
That is a much better... I apologize. My brain is a little bit addled these days.
Although acknowledging the fact that we have successfully achieved sound is not a bad thing to begin with as well.
No, exactly. So, so let's try that again. Yay, sound. Yeah. And
you are.
I am. Oh, I am on my back foot, apparently. I am Kal Honey. And you guys know that, except if you're new. So if you're new, welcome aboard.
Someone's coming and checking out your virtual collage jam for the first time. It's just a good idea, that's all.
And who is the person who's keeping me on the straight and narrow from off camera?
I'm Kim Lee Ko.
Welcome aboard, Kim.
And I'm pleased to be here with you.
And I'm pleased to be here with you. It is a cloudy day, but it's sunny inside because you're smiling.
Aww.
So, yeah. So
it's the red lips.
They work wonders. So I was going to ask if you're joining us and if you're going to work with this image. I always say it's optional because sometimes whatever our prompt is doesn't necessarily float your boat. So first of all, in the chat, let us know if you're going to work with that image. And also, I'm curious if you find image prompts or word prompts more interesting. I find both, depending. But I know we tend to use words more, and other, like Paris Collage Collective, uses images more.
There's an item in the chat from Jane. Hi, Jane. Glad you're here. I hope you can understand me. She is saying, here, but your voice is a reverberating echo. Weird, can't really understand you. Can other people watching this right now chime in if you can understand what I'm saying? Can you please let us know how sound is coming across for you? When I briefly had the sound on, it sounded fine to me, but
yeah,
I'll just test that again.
Unmute it there for a second.
Yeah. Oh, Annie says the sound is fine.
Okay.
So Jane, hopefully that was a temporary thing for you.
Yeah.
But if it isn't, it might be that you're too far from the source of your Wi-Fi.
The sound is a little tinny but clear, Cherie says. That's unusual.
I wonder if it's actually not coming. Don't fiddle with the microphone. We've had that problem before.
Okay, and Lisa says sound is fine for her. Okay, that's good. Don't
fiddle with the sound.
No.
If they've got sound, that's what matters.
Yes.
Don't break it if it's actually functioning.
If it's functioning passively, right?
Yeah.
Always, that is a good rule of tech right there. Unless, of course.
Oh, she says it just sounded better with the fiddle. Well, that makes a first time, because all the times in the past it's cut off our sound. So
right.
Thank you for letting us know, though, Cherie. That's great.
The microphone was oriented slightly differently than usual, or it may have been moving the connection, in which case I'm not touching it again. Because so anyway, I'm bottom line is we're glad you can hear us.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is
And we're
awesome.
glad you're here.
Yeah.
So Cherie says that she enjoys both types of prompts.
Yes, so do I, Cherie. I think it depends. Like sometimes, and I find having a prompt generally works better than not. But for me, anyway, hence why I chose to include prompts when we started Virtual Collage Jam. But
well, I mean, if you're working on a series of your own work, that's sort of an implied prompt, right? Because there's something in common in your series that is sort of functioning as the prompt.
Yeah, and there was something like when I was at the artist project, someone was asking me, in fact, a few people asked me, like, so what is your process, right? Because, of course, that's a logical question when you're speaking with an artist. And it made me think about it in a way that I hadn't before. And I thought one of the reasons why I love collage is unlike other media, like maybe if you're, I mean, sometimes you're staring down the blank page and you're not sure what to do. If you're drawing something, then you have a subject in mind. So there is,
well, unless you're doing non-objective drawing.
Well, exactly. drawing drawing from something.
Yeah.
But with collage, your starting point is often a found image. And it's like, okay, that's my starting point, and now what, right? So you don't like look at this endlessly in the same way that some other media might, like a painter, or
sometimes too many choices gets people stymied, because if you have a blank page and you're sitting in a studio that has 48 different media you could possibly apply to that, you have to decide, you have to just arbitrarily set a parameter.
Yeah, and I mean that also comes up with when I'm leafing through a magazine or other visual, like a book, and it's like, oh, I could use that, or I could use this, and I like end up with like a short list that's like a foot high. It's like, you know what, you need to like pick something and start already.
At least start with something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can always add something in later, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of chat to catch up on.
All right. Why don't you do that? And I'm just gonna start. I'm not gonna switch to my overhead camera for a minute.
Not just yet,
because I'm gonna talk about a couple of things after Kim.
Yes, that's right. But there's so much chat. I think we really need to.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
So Jane writes, I'm okay with both kinds of prompts, but probably prefer verbal, as she feels like there are more creative options. And does that make sense? And I think it does, just because there no visual exists and you're going to make a visual. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, and if the word says telephone, there's so many different kinds of telephone, and instead of like finding an image of a telephone and like, oh, it's that kind of telephone.
Well, plus it doesn't have to be the object. It could be about what a telephone does.
Exactly. It could be associative rather than direct. Exactly. Yeah.
Annie says she prefers word prompts. Maybe you could suggest both a word and a photo prompt, wink. Or switch more often between them, or something.
I think that I will start including more visual prompts as we move along.
But include some words for. Lisa says she also likes the combination of word and image for the prompt. Cherie says, I love seeing the different interpretations of the same prompt, verbal, visual.
I think that's one of the things that I love about a class, about teaching a class, like setting an exercise and then seeing like 15 different responses to it. And same thing with the prompt here, right? We get to go to the Facebook group and see like, look at that, right? So which is,
I agree. Something both Kal and I have taught for many years up at Halliburton School of Art and Design, which is a very intensive summer. Well, we've taught in the year-round programs too, but the intensive summer program is what I'm thinking of. And so all the courses are week-long intensives, and there are a lot of teachers and a lot of students on campus at the same time. And so a number of teachers, just from lack of space, put student work out in the hallway, lining the edges of the hallway. And I love walking past that, but I get really sad when I see classes where everybody's work looks virtually identical.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
makes me sad.
Although, and I have discussed this with people, and upon occasion, if you're looking like to just build fundamental skills in a media, that's a point where, like, if everyone's painting the split rail fence in the barn and the cows in the pasture,
God help me.
Yeah, well, exactly, but
some people love it. I
yeah,
know,
exactly.
I know.
And if you're like, you know what, I've never used this media before, and the instructor knows how to use it, and so,
or I want to learn how to paint water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
These are
I get it.
These are places where that comes
Definitely.
in. But definitely a lot of, like, the way we prefer to teach is more open.
It's a sign that I should not take those courses, nor should I teach
nor
them.
should you teach them. And ditto that for
and
me.
that's really all I can say about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So, we have someone who's attending for the very first time.
Oh, well, it's a good thing I introduced myself.
Exactly.
I'm Kal, by the way, and that's Kim.
Welcome, G. Anthony Svatek. I hope I
Hey.
pronounced your name correctly.
So do you go by Anthony? Let us know.
Presumably, since G is
Yeah,
initialized.
it's an initial. Yeah, exactly.
He writes, I'm joining Virtual Collage Jam for the first time and didn't have time to print out the image. So I'm just working on a piece that I've been meaning to make and enjoy the virtual company.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
That's, that's why it's optional, because, maybe you didn't get a chance to print it out, or maybe you have something else on the go. It's like we're meeting at a big virtual table, and, some of us are choosing to work with the prompt, and some of us have their own thing, and that's totally cool. We can still have,
and some people are just kicking back and having a drink.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. And where are you joining us from? Let us know.
Yes, please let us know. It's always interesting to find out. We have people on the West Coast. We have, I don't think she's here today, but someone from Philadelphia and, so on. We've had people there was someone from LA who joined us for a while.
Yes.
But during the lockdown.
Yeah. So.
Philippa says, I love the large poster size collages you had in the artist project. For what it's worth, I was thinking of you every day of the show. I think I missed a comment from Ruth where, yes, I did. Sorry, Ruth, where she said, congrats on your show, Kal.
Oh, thank you. Yes. No, I was over the moon with everything about it. Frankly, I was over the moon with the work I was bringing. That's always great when you go there with work you're really excited about.
Yeah.
And I definitely was. And I had a great team of help.
Yes, you did.
So Andy's probably not on this because he's not particularly a collager, but Andy Kopp, who was a friend I made at Halliburton this past summer, drove from Waterloo to help him install. And wouldn't take a penny.
Did a great job. He wouldn't even take lunch, right?
Yeah, I managed to foist a print of work on him.
Good.
But yes, and then Andrea Lee, who is a recent student, she said, I'll volunteer if you like. So she worked Friday with me. My friend David and my cousin Miriam, who are married, worked with me all weekend, and Kim was there for the opening night
and the Thursday final touches of the install.
Yeah,
but it was mostly done. So
so it takes a village to show a Kal, and the village was great, and I had great response, and a whole bunch of you guys came out. So thank you.
The work looked stunning. And you sold a lot of books.
And I sold quite a few books, and on the last day I sold 3 of the big ones. So that was
the big prints.
Yes. Sorry, the poster size prints, which was like Yahoo time.
Yes. Yes.
And it was great because a couple walked in, and I'm paraphrasing because my brain cannot remember the conversation because barely can I remember what happened. But she came in and she like, oh, I love this. And then she like looked around a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Right. And then she looked around and she said, so if we bought more than one, would you cut us a deal? And I said, absolutely. And her husband looked there and said, you're cutting deals already? And she said, absolutely. And then she looked at me and she said, we'll be back. And so they came back and they said, we'll take those 3. It's like, absolutely. Thank you. So
made
awesome.
our month.
Yes. So
That was exciting. Okay. Now, where's Philippa's?
But I've cut you off again because you were in the middle of getting us
that's
chat
fine.
caught
That's
up. Right?
fine.
So yeah,
This is,
Yeah.
this is real. This is organic.
organic.
Yeah, so Philippa, I'm with you. The poster size collages were really, really something. Ruth says, I loved your course at Halliburton Kim. Aw, thank you, Ruth. That's how Ruth and I met. Ruth had her corner, back right corner from my desk's perspective, and she was there giggling to herself for hours on end.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Someone's in their happy place.
Jane says she's going to leave and come back in as her sound issue is back and being a pain. And yes, Anthony goes by Anthony.
Okay, welcome aboard, Anthony. Great
and
to
he's
have
in
you along,
upstate New York.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Fantastic.
So how did you find, I shouldn't keep asking you demographic questions, Anthony, but if you don't mind sharing.
At any point during the collage jam, if
you're taking a break in between, just let us know how you found us.
Exactly.
Did you find us through Collage Magazine?
It's always so good.
Or just, I'm curious because it helps us understand what works and what doesn't. So.
And look who's here. It's Ricky from Philadelphia.
Awesome. Hey, Ricky.
Yay, Ricky.
Just doubled our stateside contingent. Awesome. Welcome back, Ricky.
Great. Jane has figured out the source of her problem. She actually had us running twice, and that was causing an issue.
Yeah,
that would do it for sure.
Yeah.
The streaming bandwidth would be too much.
It'd be hard to stream both, and if there's chances are there wouldn't be a perfect sync, so you'd have like this. Well,
and you'd get gaps.
Yeah. So
and distortion.
All is well when the tech problems are figured out.
Cherie says, I so enjoyed the show, and I enjoyed it a second time through your book, a great keepsake. Yes, Cal's first art book. I'm so pleased about that.
And in fact, that's a great segue, because one of the reasons I haven't switched to my overhead camera is I wanted to show that briefly again before I switch to the overhead camera and mention that I still have a few copies of this, a very few copies.
It sold well, but I have
a few left. And if you are interested in purchasing one, I will honor the $50 price from the
show special.
The show special, exactly. And
plus shipping, though.
Have to ship it. So if you're interested, drop me an email. You guys will have that. Kim, maybe you can put it in the chat with just in a way that doesn't reject it, and just drive by. It has most of my new and recent works, with the left-hand page shows the entire collage, and then the right-hand side shows a detail, a closer up. So it's got several of the pieces I like from what I've done recently, and including some of my day collage work. I'll flip ahead to that. Works like this, where I'm working on many layers and then cutting and revealing, or trying to get so it doesn't get too much glare. There you go.
The printing on this book is outstanding.
The printing is outstanding. We did a lot of work to make sure the scans were really good, but the printer also did a really good job.
Yeah.
Print on demand, which is what we did, is usually expensive, and it
can be variable in terms of quality.
It can be quite variable in terms of the quality, but they did a great job, and we
picked a place that is used by a lot of professional photographers, and that's a good sign.
So definitely a shout out to Picto in Toronto.
Yeah, they didn't sponsor this, but they deserve a thank you for their excellent work.
They did a wonderful job of the printing. So
yeah.
So
the paper's nice too.
Yeah, it's
not the most expensive paper choice, but it's very nice quality.
It's like a satin finish, so because we have very bright lights on, it's got glare, but it's when you're looking at it, just reading it, it doesn't have much glare.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Ruth says, can't wait to get my book in the mail.
Yes, Yay. Ruth is on the list already, Ruth. Thank you.
And LOL, bad girls sit in the back corner. You knew yourself.
Troublemakers.
That's right. You knew yourself. Rebecca says, sorry, I missed the show.
Oh, I understand, Rebecca. Like,
yeah,
those, unless you're feeling strong, like
robust.
Like both Kim and I are qualify as HSPs, or highly sensitive people. So we love interacting, but it also is it's hard. It's hard, exactly.
Yeah.
And those shows, you know, it's just booth after booth of like visual stimulation, right? And then there are conversations. So
I gave friends strategies to help navigate going to a big show like that who are similarly
and
overwhelmable.
What strategies did you?
I said, get the program out,
Yep.
sit down on a bench.
Yep.
With a highlighter and highlight the must-sees, the pillars that you have to hit.
Yep. Any friends or...
And just making your way to those things, you'll see plenty.
Yeah.
And you won't see the whole show because you can't. Over 200 exhibitors, each of whom has however many artworks. Like, you cannot do that.
I have talked to people who say, oh, yeah, I saw the whole show. And it's like... they're a different breed than I am, because exactly. I need to look longer, and I want to have conversations and
process it
and like Kim and I have gone to the artist show in the past and gone through 2 or 3 of the 10 or 15 rows, and then it's like, you know what, our eyes are full,
we're done.
And
we take breaks.
And taking a break even like.
But we have some great conversations.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather but if you're going with certain people in mind, it's definitely a good idea to like find out where they are, highlight them, make sure you hit those, and then on your way to and from those, you'll find some serendipity as well.
I also kept bumping into people, which was really nice.
A few people, right?
It was amazing.
Yeah. And just before I switch to the overhead camera, which I'll do in a minute, I just want to mention also that we're doing the World Collage Day event at the Gladstone.
It's a hybrid event, so there will be a live stream aspect and an in-person aspect. So we're going to be
live streaming from Gladstone House. For those of you who don't know, Gladstone House is a art hotel downtown Toronto. They have art in all of the rooms, and
it's an extraordinary place.
And in a lot of the public spaces, including one by yours truly. And so it's a really great place to have a workshop. So that is on Saturday, May 13th from 1 to 4 p.m. And will be $30, and there will only be 12 seats for the live event. If you can't make that, then you can always watch online with us.
Yes, join us, and we'll have our niece Jessica Coe helping us out, since we learned from the last time that having a hybrid event, we need another
more hands and eyes. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have put that as just the way you would normally buy a course or a workshop on my website. It's up there, but I haven't announced it to anyone, so no one knows about it. So I'm telling you guys who are on this,
you're getting first notice, because clearly you're
I'll be sending it out to my full virtual collage jam list, but you guys hear first. Okay. So, hopefully we can see you there. All right.
And Cal's website is just calhoney.ca. I'm writing that in the chat with the usual.
And the screen's going dark just for a moment while I switch to the overhead camera, so don't sweat it. We'll be back in a second. It's kind of low tech. It's the same camera, so there we go. All right. And how far have I got? Not very far, because I've just been yakking. So I just started. I thought it'd be kind of interesting to maybe just cut the lower level of roads or highways out and see where that leads me, because I need a starting place, and that's as good as any. And so I saw that a few of you had already, I checked the Virtual Collage Jam Facebook group before coming on today, and saw that a few of you had already done some work on this, playing with this image. Keeners. I remember, for instance, Lisa had done a few because she was getting caught up. So she did the 3-in-1, 3 Paris Collage Collectives in 1 weeks in one image. good multitasking way of going about it.
Wow, yeah. Just putting the World Collage Day info in the chat so that if anyone wants to copy it or screenshot it
Great. Thank you,
for
Kim.
reference,
Yeah.
it's there.
Yeah, so World Collage Day was started by Collage Magazine, which is an international magazine out of Montreal about collage.
Which is, in fact, where Anthony found out about this event.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
So
yeah.
that's great.
Great. Yay. Really nice little magazine. And they also, they run, for those of you who are, I don't know exactly when it is, so because I'm just speaking extemporaneously, but they do run an event, I think in New Orleans, a collage like convention kind of thing, or like it's at least a weekend, like Collage Fest, I think it's called. But yeah, if you're looking for like collage tourism, like there's
that would be a cool thing to do some year, eh?
In fact, that's something we should put on our list for virtual collage jam, is to see about going there and streaming.
Find out more about it, because you have the potential to be a presenter there.
Totally, yeah.
So
which would be fun.
It would be.
I need a reason to go to New Orleans. How about you guys?
Yeah, yeah. And while we're there, music, food.
Yeah.
Ricky says, so good to be here and hear about your successful show. Thank you, Ricky. Kal, are you sending out photos or doing a blog post or something?
I have done a blog post on my website, calhoney.ca. There is a blog there. And it's with some pictures of the event. It's under events, and it's a thank you. It's primarily a thank you, but also to my help. But it's also a quick drive by of how it went. So
yeah. So if you're curious how Kal's booth looked, there's where you can see and to hear a little bit about it. Annie writes, I loved your Doja Purity piece, and I was going to DM you Saturday, but saw that it was sold. Great, it was sold. Love your book, too.
So, Annie, that is available.
Because it's a limited edition.
No, because I put a red dot on a couple of pieces.
After
I forget when I did it, but I thought, I haven't had any sales yet. I've had lots of interest.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I just put a couple of red dots, maybe people will start to get a little excited about it. Like, oh, I better get something. So, Annie, that piece is still available should you be interested. So,
Kal will email you later today.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for expressing that.
Yeah, exactly. Because unless you had said that, I wouldn't have known. So,
that's right.
Yeah. And I'm sorry if that if you were crestfallen seeing that red dot.
It was so nice seeing you there. I got to see you at the show because you came on the opening night.
You won one of the tickets did you not? Or
Annie did. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Yeah. And I'm glad you're loving the book too. Ruth says, yes, I ordered mine and can't wait to get it. I can't wait for you to get it too, Ruth. Let us know when you've got it and had a chance to look through it.
How you like it. Yeah.
Jane says, I'd like one of your books, Kal. Definitely interested. I'll pay after class. So
all right. Well, don't pay me yet because I have to figure out shipping. So I will take you at your
postage,
word.
basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I will probably send it by express post so that it's a little more secure.
Yeah.
And so this week I'm gonna send out a bunch of them. So I will, if
you'll be in touch,
you're on the list, and I will let you know how much plus shipping after I've been to the post office. So perfect. Thank you, Jane.
Ruth says, let me know how much shipping is and I will e-transfer the money to you, or are you sending an invoice with the book?
I will let you know by email and you can e-transfer me.
Great.
Thank you.
So that answers your next question, Jane. So I'll move along to Ricky. I definitely want to, Ricky says. I'll text you directly. So if you can just jot Ricky for 2.
Okay, I can do that.
Philippa asks how much the book's show special is. $50, Philippa. It will go up to $60 after we run out of the few remaining.
The first run, yeah.
And plus postage.
Yeah.
Ruth says, I keep losing you, so I might miss instructions. Ruth, just wait till Kal emails you, okay? Let me know if you heard me say that.
Right, yes.
Jane says only one is fine.
Yeah.
Cherie says Kal was our first stop. That's awesome,
Yeah.
Cherie.
Thank you, guys. I actually, they gave me an amazingly good spot right near the front of the show. So
near the bathrooms, near the front of the show, like the info desk.
Yeah, no, it
was fantastic.
It's luck of the draw, but it was really,
yeah,
it was very lucky, because I know some seasoned exhibitors sometimes end up in like much less good spots. Like our friend Beth James, who's been to that show at least 5 times. She was in one of the back rows, and it's like,
yeah,
it seems, yeah,
and it affected her sales.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
exquisite work too. Like,
yeah, gorgeous
nothing
work
about the work. That
she was a student of ours years ago at the Halliburton School of Art and Design. We helped establish their first graduate certificate program, which was an advanced studio process type of program. And we helped develop the curriculum as well as deliver it. And yeah, she was a wonderful student in that program. Just she'd gotten a BFA and felt stymied, which is a common problem for people coming out of post-graduation. It's shocking how few people are still practicing artists 5 years later, 10 years later. Not that there's anything wrong with them doing other things, don't get me wrong, but anyway, she definitely found her way back.
No, she was she was cooking in that program.
That's right. Lisa says, yeah, I got behind because I've been working on a portrait.
Nice.
It was fun combining the 3 images. Cool.
And was that the portrait that you also posted using the 10-layer challenge portrait, Lisa?
Yeah, those 10-layer challenges are very interesting. I'm going to do one of these days. I just have such a backlog of things I have to do. I have to be careful about distracting myself.
Right? Yeah. There are so many great opportunities, right? You have to pick and choose.
There are. We are a week away from the launch of my public art project in Oakville, in the town of Oakville.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us about that, Kim?
So Oakville selected 9 artist photographers for temporary, that is through the end of the year, window installations in city-owned buildings. So our images will one image from each of us will occupy a window at a public building in Oakville. And I feel like I got first prize because they gave me the Oakville Center for Performing Arts.
Wow, that's great. Yeah.
So, which is just fabulous. So I can hardly wait to see it. They'll be installing it this week, at the end of this week, I guess.
Right, so we'll be able to see it soon.
And they're timing it to coincide with the Contact Photography Festival, which lasts all May long in the Greater Toronto area. And Annie Bentley writes, yay, I am XO. Yay.
Yeah, that's great. I'm so
glad. I love it when that works out. That is just that. It was meant to be, Annie.
Yep, exactly.
That's why Kal reserved it for you.
Yeah, it's worked out so well, hasn't it? Like, it meant no one else bought it.
Yeah.
You just happened to mention it today, and your wish came true. So that makes me so happy.
Oh, yeah. Knowing it's going to have such a great home. I always like that for my artwork. Thanks, Ruth. Thanks for confirming that you got the message.
Yay.
Okay. Lisa writes, no, it's one of a woman using another Paris challenge photo. I'm experimenting with using photos as paint, and it's taking a long time because I'm also trying to be realistic. Well, that does sound challenging, Lisa.
Yes, and
Fascinating.
I've seen a few of her developmental pieces in the collage masterclass, and it's very exciting, Lisa. So yeah, that's
oh, I feel like I've been missing out on something.
Yeah.
Lisa, are you on Instagram? Do I see you on Instagram?
She is on Instagram.
I have so many people that I may not see you in my newsfeed, but if you have any of that developmental work on Instagram, I have to check it out. That's for sure.
Failing that, I can show her the pieces you've shared with us on the collage masterclass.
If you don't mind, Lisa.
Yeah.
That would be great.
All right.
All right. You've cut that out.
Yeah. Because I needed a starting place.
It certainly needs some color, eh? With all the tarmac and sand and the dull cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a toy train kind of quality to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking down on these little
or what was that called? Matchbox 20 or something with the car tracks. Remember you used to be able to configure the plastic car tracks and run your little metal cars.
Yeah, no
on it.
Hot Wheels.
Was that Hot Wheels?
Yeah. The little orange.
I loved that.
Yeah.
The orange tracks. Yeah. But you could make loops and you could make all kinds of stuff.
And, they had banked curves.
Yeah.
And, all kinds of cool stuff.
That was awesome. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Lisa. I will seek out your profile to take a look.
Awesome. Yeah, Lisa is anxiously awaiting your Procreate courses.
Right. Yes. A few people are, Lisa.
Yeah.
I have a few things I'm trying to get done first, but then I'll be working on that for sure. Lisa says she's taking, by the way, I recognize your Instagram handle, so I obviously do see you sometimes in my feed, so that's good.
Right. That's good.
That's good. I'm glad. She says she's taking your paint collage course in May and looking forward to it.
Oh, good. Yay. Yeah.
Fabulous.
That'll be cool having someone digital in it because...
yeah. Ruth says, me too, Lisa. Awesome.
Yay.
That's so good.
Yeah.
It's good to have a loaded class that way, you know?
I do my best.
It's almost like cheating.
I only hire the best as students. So.
Right. And Lisa says, yes, an affinity photo too. Yes, I keep that in mind. It has to come after Procreate, I'm afraid, because Procreate has a bigger audience, but I feel you on the affinity photo, and it is on my list for sure. Yeah. I got my whole schedule and plans got put out for a good year or two with all the things that happened. But I am easing back into my work with more and more energy, and that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
But trying to be more balanced about it too, because I cannot end up in the same
place again.
Yeah. Got to look after my health now.
Health first.
Yeah.
I mean, should always be that way, but when you have a warning shot, it's
tend
best
not
to pay attention.
Warning shots tend to make you pay attention, don't they?
They do.
Cherie writes, Hot Wheels, the best Christmas present my little brother, now 60, got. He wept for joy. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. That was the coolest thing. Yeah. I never had my own. But
that's not right.
No. I managed to get a car somehow, but I never had any tracks. Yeah. There are a lot of things my parents have to answer for in the toy front, you know. Where's my microscope? Where's my chemistry set? I think my father was afraid I was going to blow up the house with the chemistry set. But you think he was a scientist? You think he would be?
That's why. That's why he was leery.
You think he'd be encouraging of a young mind interested in science, don't you think? Cherie says, "Hey, Instagram users, what is an NFT? A non-fungible token?" That's a big topic.
Yeah, I'll leave that one to you, Kim, because I don't know enough.
I'm not going to go into it. It's quite a controversial topic because it's a whole new format potentially for delivering art and other things, not just art, but you don't own anything physical. That's the thing. You own a digital thing that has a certificate, kind of a digital certificate attached to it, and it gets stored on servers. What is the value of owning an NFT? I don't know, honestly. I imagine there's a way you can look at it digitally, but there's controversy around even though it's not a physical object, the ecological cost because of energy usage of the servers used to store NFTs. Aside from which, there's also, anything digital can be hacked. So then what happens, right? If an NFT got hacked somehow, or the servers storing the NFTs got hacked, I mean, it opens a can of worms way vaster than my brain can possibly handle. So I'll leave it at that, shall I?
Yeah.
But I, certainly if you're curious, I recommend you Google it, look it up.
I can understand the desire in general to be able to own a piece of artwork in some way that is authentic in some way.
Yeah.
And also does not take up physical space.
Yeah.
And maybe you can use it in whatever digital ways you want. But it also is a kind of a weird thing for those of us who are used to the idea of owning
a thing,
tangible things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, something digital that's very popular, or somewhat popular anyway, in the younger generation is wallpapers for your phone, right? Or wallpapers for your computer. So that is images that you see when your phone or computer isn't doing anything. I, for example, have one of my own artworks as wallpaper on my phone, and I think it looks gorgeous. But that's something that people can buy, and it's digital, but it doesn't have, you just store it on your device, and you can back it up so that if something goes wrong with your device, you can reload it onto, the new phone that you get or the new laptop. And it doesn't have this special cost of these massive server systems that, in addition to the power they use to run them, there's the power they have to use to cool them because they generate so much heat. So it's, yeah. I like things that are simpler like that. As soon as, it's just like the financial instruments that kind of led to the financial crisis in 2008, I believe it was. They were, getting doctorates in math to devise financial instruments that nobody else understood. And that's a tricky thing, right? So I sort of feel the same way. I'm not categorically against NFTs as an idea, but I don't like it when it's not something we can understand easily. So that's, now I'm definitely stopping, okay? I think there's a little more chat here. So I hope that helps, Cherie. Ricky writes, Melania Trump apparently owns several NFTs, with a hilarious emoticon. That kind of says it all, doesn't it? I mean, look who she married, the ultimate grifter. So yeah, of course she would embrace NFTs. Oh dear. Before and without actually understanding them, probably. Joy writes, "Hi Joy.
Hey, Joy.
So glad you
Yeah,
could join
welcome aboard.
us." She says she's impressed with your highway, Cal.
I'm not convinced I am yet, but in the first one, I thought, okay, I'm gonna, because I needed to start somewhere, I thought I'll remove these sort of straightish roads at the bottom level under and show through.
Hmm.
And then where that headed me and why I've sort of put this one aside is because I thought, oh, there are all these cast shadows, including highways and from palm trees. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to see something through the shadows while the palm trees are still there? Never mind that the palm trees are tiny. Like, what am I setting myself up for? The shadows of the highway is a lot easier to remove.
The palm trees sound like exactly the sort of situation you would set yourself up for.
I should have printed it larger,
Obviously.
But that's where I'm at.
Crazy man.
Yeah, exactly.
Cherie writes, "Thanks. That's enough information to not go there. Can't see the difference between that and a good old public domain Google search. Give me the real deal." Yeah. Well, if a good old public domain Google search will satisfy your needs, that seems to me more straightforward and therefore a good idea. Joy writes, "We only have one 4-way stop here on the island." Oh my God. Isn't that heaven? Ever since my car accident on going from one highway, 400 series highway, to another 400 series highway during a commute in the morning a few years ago, I got PTSD from the accident, and as a result, I have no interest in being on a highway, driving on a highway anywhere within a day's drive of Toronto. Outside of that, I'm fine with it, but not within a day's drive of Toronto.
Any large city.
Yeah, Toronto specifically, because I think, for example, in the Laurentian Mountains, I would be okay. But which is less than a day's drive from Montreal. It's only a couple hours.
Yeah. But it's true that we have some of the craziest highways around.
Oh my God. Yeah, there's a section of the 401 going across Toronto, Joy, that has 16 lanes. And I must say, it's quite kind of a horrifying form of awe.
Yeah.
Strikes you as you drive along that when you really see it, when you really notice it.
There's some highway in one of the big cities in China that has like 50 lanes.
It's like the most insane highway in the world, I think.
Yeah.
And like, what do you do if you miss your turnoff? You could end up anywhere, like, it's so complex that I just can't even imagine.
Can't wrap your head around it. Yeah.
Joy, I would be much better out there. I would.
You're so right.
I'm going to visit because I need to see it. I'm dying for a road trip anyway. So,
yeah, you're long overdue. You were overdue before the pandemic.
Oh, I was. Yeah, I was way overdue before the pandemic, and now it's terrible. So, yeah.
One of Kim's big sanity keepers or maintainers.
Great joys.
And great joys is to go for a few weeks solo driving trips.
Yeah.
And so what are you guys up to with this image? Have you had any brainwaves as to what you might do with it?
Are you combining it with
what are you combining it with? How are you altering it? What games are you setting up for yourself?
And Anthony, since you're not working with the image, only if it's convenient, feel free to share what you are working on.
Yeah, exactly.
Some aspect of it. It's funny how the blue, anything that has blue on it stands out on
Really
that road,
does stand
right?
out, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Red.
yeah.
The little red vehicles. It's harder to see in the, well, maybe if I make my thing full screen. Yeah, the blues don't look quite as blue. So I'll mention that the green on my screen anyway, the greens don't look as green as they do in real life. The blues don't look as blue, and the reds don't look as red.
Other than that, it's pretty much
perfect.
Perfect, exactly.
I don't know why. We have good lighting and we have a good camera, but I guess the color calibration needs to be adjusted.
I didn't tweak that. I was very concerned about making sure the sound would work.
Yes, just getting the live stream to work properly was the priority. So, but you, any of you who are in the Facebook group for Virtual Collage Jam, Anthony, if you're on Facebook, please feel free to join that group. It's just called Virtual Collage Jam group.
And you have to request to join the first time, but after that you can post.
We will let you in. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But you'll get to see, if Kal, when and if Kal finishes any given collage.
When or if.
It happens. It happens.
It
and
does.
you'll get to see everyone else's collages.
Which is kind of fun.
Including collages that aren't actually Virtual Collage Jam. Like, it's not limited to the collages you do for it, but you'll see those too. And we have people who do use collage as their regular medium, and so they'll post things they're doing for Paris Collage or for what's that other one that's Edinburgh Collage
Collective.
Yeah,
also,
so
or I think it is called Collective.
I think it is
there for a minute, but
yeah, and just for their own on their own. So it's quite inspiring to see
all the different responses to a given stimula or what people cook up just in general.
And people's approaches are so different. It's lovely. So what are you cutting out now? Little detailed cuts?
I'm cutting out shadows.
Some of which are maybe a bit detailed, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of which.
Better yet. That sounds like the Kal I know. Oh, and Cherie, I have to thank you belatedly very much for the adorable Japanese figurine you gave me via Kal. I was so surprised, and I love it.
And it's great. It's very sweet, and it also has a really nice design sensibility.
Well, this is the thing, right?
Expect from Japan, right? It's Japanese, right?
Yeah. I'm just thinking though that Cherie really nailed it, because cute is tricky, right? Cute can be, if it's well designed, it can be awesome, and it can end up being kind of saccharine or kitschy or something kitschy in not a good way. You nailed it. Yeah. It's beautiful and right up my alley. So thank you. I actually put it up on when Kal puts the camera on his face again, you'll see it in the background between my Chinese pin cushions and my Year of the Rabbits on the mantle there. What a nice surprise that was.
So unexpected, eh?
Yeah.
And so thoughtful too, Cherie. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, really touching. It's been a year of, ever since I got the cancer diagnosis, almost exactly a year ago, actually.
Yeah.
At the end of this week, it'll be a year ago. There've been a lot of really sweet surprises that sprinkled throughout the whole year. Not that this was related to that diagnosis, but it's interesting that it's coming at a time when other sweet surprises have come too. So, yeah. I'm behind on doing readings from the Bright Fish poetry
Oh,
book.
that's right. Yeah. But you have so many irons in the fire these days.
Yeah, but I want to do
Yeah,
and it's not anyway. You can expect something soon.
Stay tuned. Something.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for something.
Well, and I'm also, once Collage Jam is over and I've had a little break, I'm planning to record a reel for Instagram that I'll post on Facebook too, with talking about my public art project. You guys know about it, and my newsletter subscribers know about it, but I haven't announced it to the world yet. So I figure it's a week till it's installed and open to the public. So it's perfect timing.
Good
I think.
time to promote it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if anybody here signed up for my my first in-person workshop since the pandemic began, but it's full and it's way oversubscribed. We have a maximum of 15 students, so that it's
it was a free
reasonable.
one too,
It's
right?
a free workshop
At Nielsen Park, right?
at Nielsen Park for Asian Heritage Month, and I was really gratified to see how popular it was. It loaded up quickly, and I mean, who doesn't love a free workshop? But it was surprising still how many people try. I had friends try to sign up for it, and they kept getting back to me with, "It's full. I'm on the wait list." Yeah, there are a lot of people on the wait list. Anyway, I've got to do prep for that this week.
What day is that, Kim?
That's is that May 7th? Yeah, that's Sunday, May 7th.
Just a little under a week ahead of World Collage Day.
Yeah, from 1 to 4 p.m.
Right.
And we're exploring the 5 elements through mixed media. And the 5 elements being a kind of key, one of many key aspects of Chinese cosmology that shows up in many, many aspects of Chinese life and practices and beliefs, from astrology to medicine to...
I'd always heard of the Chinese like it's the year of the this or the year of that in terms of animals, but the elements also play an aspect, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the animals go in cycles of 12 years. The elements go in cycles of 5 years. So each time one of the animals comes up,
it's a different element.
It's a different element for
Right.
each of 5 years.
Right.
5 years of their 12-year cycles.
Right. So it must be very rare to have like the same. It must take a long time for those same 2 combinations to show up again.
Yeah, that's part of the
Right.
specificity. But it's also, there's a big emphasis in Chinese philosophy, and I don't just mean philosophy in kind of the higher sense, but sort of an underlying belief system in balance.
That's
with
in
foods,
cuisine too, right?
With foods, with traditional Chinese medicine is very focused on balance. So it's a balancing the elements is considered important. Balancing flavors in cuisine is considered important. So balancing lots of things. Except power.
Yeah.
There's not been a good tradition of balancing power. Yeah.
And what are you guys, I think I asked earlier, but...
oh, geez, I should check what the chat's doing.
What you guys are thinking and how you're playing with this particular image, if you are.
Lots of chat for me to catch
All
up
right,
on.
Okay. So, Kim, you probably already told me.
Yeah, who knows?
And Kim will get us caught
Yeah,
up.
you don't need to repeat it. I will get to Ruth says, I'm not working with the image. I'm enjoying sitting in my newly cleaned out studio. Wow. I'm
Yeah.
really jealous, Ruth. So is Kal.
Yeah. Haven't had one of those in a long time.
Yeah, it's physically dangerous for me to try and go into Kal's studio. And she writes, and parenthetically, she writes, wow, there's a lot of garbage going out this week. And flipping through magazines, getting more material for collaging. That's the spirit, Ruth. Well done. Cherie writes, I remain inspired by the Sound and Vision open call and incorporated James Taylor's Traffic Jam to my digital collage using the prompt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
great. Seriously, written words are such a great way to access ideas. Anthony writes, I went to a hardware store this past weekend and took home a bunch of Benjamin Moore paint swatches. Oh,
Ooh, yeah. And
yeah.
they have
I
the
feel
best
you,
colors.
Anthony.
And yeah. And
Beautiful. That he's now chopping up and arranging with some science book imagery. Oh, also a fave.
Yeah, we'll be right over.
Oh, Anthony, I hope you can join the Facebook group because I'd love to see work in progress. It doesn't matter. Like, just because the material, I think any collage artist or mixed media artist, the materials themselves are so delightful, and seeing what people use is so delightful. So, yeah.
But those are definitely some tasteful choices material-wise.
Yeah. Anthony says, loving the company here. He doesn't have a Facebook account, but we'll follow on Instagram.
Right.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'm at Kim Lee Co on Instagram, and Kal is at Kal Honey.
Kal Honey, all one word, Kal, and then honey like the sweet stuff.
Just like you see on his channel, but without a space.
But without the space, exactly.
Cherie writes, I answered an open call from the Contemporary Collage magazine. Yes, I saw that call. In celebration of World Collage Day, they will publish a collage from every country, state, and province. That's awesome.
So cool.
Well done for you answering that. And Cherie, in response to my finally thanking her for that beautiful, beautiful gift, says, you are so welcome. Saw it and thought of you. Success over challenges. And Kim was in the name. Yeah, it really, yeah. It was so serendipitous, wasn't it? Yeah. Maybe I should dye my hair that color. Jane signed up for my workshop at Nielsen. That's great. So glad I'll see you there.
This is the
little figure.
The figurine in that Kim is referring to.
Yeah.
Very cute little face. Try and get the light.
Yeah.
There we go.
Rotate it.
Yeah. And quite hefty too. Like
it's substantial.
It's like half a pound or something.
It draws on a tradition of there's a traditional form of wooden doll that's made from a single piece of wood, kind of like wood turning, and then hand painted. And I forget what it's called, but there's a very long tradition of it. It's one of the traditional crafts. Probably not very many people making them anymore, but I love how this kind of draws on that, but also has a hint of anime to it. Yeah, it's really great. Sorry, was I bouncing my knee?
Oh, possibly. I was hearing a very
something was vibrating.
Yeah. But don't fret.
Cherie writes, Contemporary Collage magazine are asking for events in celebration of World Collage Day due by April 27th. Shall I give a shout out to Virtual Collage Jam? May get a plug. Oh, yes.
Yeah, that would
please.
Be great. I have posted our event in the listings on Collage magazine, but not Contemporary Collage.
You can't forget about them because they're It's very telling how collage is a medium for our times, that there are two excellent magazines being published on that now, while quite a few other art magazines are languishing or failing. sort of more general art magazines. I think that there's something about going narrow and deep with something that's really contemporary. Annie writes, "Is there a message in the wooden doll?" Oh, well, there's a. First of all, I'll just show the bottom. Is that showing up on your screen?
It is. It's upside down, but
well, thank
there
you.
we go. Yeah.
So first,
Kimmy doll collection.
Yeah, so
Seiko.
Kim is in the
Yeah,
name.
exactly. But
does it unscrew?
That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought to.
It doesn't seem to unscrew.
Okay. But maybe traditional ones do have like an openable.
Well, the
aspect.
one that I grew up with didn't. The head may have unscrewed, but it didn't have anything inside it. But I have this sense that it was one piece of wood. But I think I posted in my blog a couple of years ago a video about the making of those dolls that I thought was fascinating. I'll have to rewatch it to make up for the message is on the packaging. That's right. Thank you, Cherie, for reminding me. It did have a beautiful message on it. Which I put somewhere. Cherie adds, there were 6 exhibiting collage artists at the Artist Project. We are on the cutting edge.
We are.
We are indeed.
No pun intended. Oh, wait, maybe it is.
Well, and I also loved, kind of in the spirit of collage, there were certainly 2 artists that I knew of, certainly 2 good artists that I knew of at the Artist Project this year who work with digital images and then layer on physical paint onto prints of those digital images.
Which sort of has something in common because you're starting with a...
Yeah. That's why collage and mixed media so often go hand in hand. There's a relatedness to the thinking about combining things that used to be separate and layering them. And then she writes, haha, excuse the pun. Cal, you missed the pun. We are on the cutting edge.
I didn't miss the pun.
Oh. But you just didn't say anything?
No, I said, if you'll excuse the pun or...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I didn't
Don't
hear
worry.
you say that.
No, we're...
Somehow I missed that. No. Everyone else probably heard that.
Don't worry. I'm like that too. Man, I have so many blanks from being overwhelmed at the Artist Project.
Yeah, I bet.
Like,
oh my God, Cal. Can you put the colored paper behind that and
yes, I will
hold it up closer to the camera so people can see how insane your little shadow cutouts are?
All right, so you might be able to see them here. But if I flip it over, you'll see them just because you won't see the other things. So
start that way. And then
so that's actually kind of fun. You never know. Like this may be the side that I end up using, right? But it's kind of fun. I'm trying to cut out the cast shadows of the highways and of some palm trees and of cars. And so I'll get back to you next month. Was ever thus, right? Because in an hour and a half event, I always take on something that is kind of like Everest. And
that's right.
This is why I have dozens of unfinished collages in my
street. But you also have periods when what you do is you go through.
That's right. And sort of
finish up,
come back to something and say, okay, was that actually, that is worth pursuing, and I will finish it.
I mean, some of the collages that you either showed or we considered for your show at the Artist Project were like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because sometimes you get super inspired by being part of this.
Oh, a lot of the time I do.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to mention, because we're on YouTube, and so one must mention things like this. If you're enjoying this at all, if you like being here, if you wouldn't mind giving the video a like, we'd greatly appreciate it. It stands the more likes there are, the more it stands a chance of
being found by other
being
people.
found by other people. Yeah, getting suggested and so on. So I'll give it a like right now.
Why, thank you.
And Annie, when I find the message, I will try and share it. I'll put it up on my whiteboard so I don't lose track of it from the doll.
Right.
Joy says, I was at the opening and spoke about our virtual collage jam. They were interested. The opening. Can you
Was that an opening of a show near you, Joy?
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah,
And thank you so much.
Thanks for plugging us. Absolutely.
Yeah. I definitely, well, never say never, but it would be hard to imagine me doing what you're doing right now, Kal.
Different strokes for different folks,
Yeah.
right?
It's true. It's funny, I'm bubbling over with ideas of new things I want and need to make for my upcoming solo show, because I've just found out that that I'm going to have, it sounds like, all of the exhibition spaces in the gallery, the public gallery in Whitby.
So,
which is a lot of spaces.
Yeah. So the curator Olex came out to see me at the Artist Project, which was nice.
Yeah.
And the last time we had talked with him, he said to Kim, well, there are a couple of other shows that may be happening at the same time and I haven't sorted it out yet. So you may just have like one room, or you may have two rooms, or you may have three rooms.
Yeah.
And so at the Artist Project, he said, oh, and by the way, it looks like it's going to be one. It looks like the other two are going to be occupied. And I said, okay, well, I'll relay that to Kim. So I came home and told Kim, and she, okay, well, that's a little bit disappointing, but it's also like a relief. And then like 2 days later, she actually, no, it's more likely to be all three.
Yeah.
so,
yeah. 2 days later. So I had 2 days of relief, and now I'm gearing back up.
It's a nice problem to have, though. At least it seems like it from where I stand. Kim's not convinced, though.
Oh, it is a nice problem to have. Honestly, it's just a question of energy and time. But
yes.
So what I'm focusing on, one of the few things I'm focusing on right now, including prepping for that workshop, is writing grants to support, because I need to make a lot of things, and so I need some funding to help
with that.
Help with that, because it's a lot. But yeah, it is a great problem to have. Honestly, I'm thrilled. I'm living the dream. No doubt. Joy added the word "the," so she was at the opening. So I have a feeling the opening is a place.
Ah, okay, right.
A gallery, perhaps. That'd be a cute name for a gallery.
That is a great name for a gallery, actually, the opening.
Of the Spring Art Show Archipelago, a collaboration between Salt Spring Island and San Juan Islands artists.
Oh,
awesome.
Cool. Yeah,
that's
awesome.
Lovely.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the...
I mean, our whole objective in making this a YouTube live stream was to make it as accessible as possible for people wherever. And, not at the time we started Virtual Collage Jam, a lot of people were not up to speed on Zoom yet. Although you started it on Zoom, you quickly moved to YouTube.
Well, because at first it looked like it was going to be
a short-lived thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And also, like, I thought, well, how many people am I going to get? And then it was like, wow, this is a lot of people to handle on Zoom because
you can't see them.
And everyone, it was like 50 or 60 people.
Oh, that's right. In the early days,
because the pandemic was
a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people really in need of something, right?
Yeah, which is why we started.
Yeah, exactly.
Our respective live streams. Yeah. virtual studio party is still on hiatus because things keep cropping up. And thank you, Sherry. Yes, she says it's so heartening to see good things happen to good people. Thank you so much for that. A lot of, in view of my reduced capacity, a lot of things are happening.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm, I had hoped to have a spring virtual studio party, and I mean, spring does go till June 21st, so it is a possibility. But if it has to wait till fall, that so be it. And I think it'll become a special event thing. The collage jam will remain a regular thing.
Yeah.
But studio party will be a special event thing, which doesn't mean I won't have other live events online. So
you kind of suit more
special eventy things. Yeah.
I mean, we each have our natures, right? And
yeah.
So I like regular things, and Kim likes special events.
Things.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, regular things can be special too, but
well, of course.
This is something good that came out of the pandemic.
Yes. I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the people I ran into at the Artist Project is a friend of mine who almost died from COVID, and he has long COVID now.
Yikes.
He was in his 40s. Omar.
Right. Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
Anthony says, have to run, but this was so great. Can't wait to see the final pieces.
Thank you for
Thanks
joining us,
so
Anthony.
much, Anthony.
Yeah, so great to...
Hope to see you again next time, and maybe online at the World Collage Day.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us.
And take care until
Great
the next one.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Artists aren't they, guys?
Yeah.
Artists are the best.
No, why am I getting a beach ball?
Is everyone else getting us okay?
Oh, it came back.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Phew. Always a little worrying whenever there's a tech glitch. It's always unsure whether it's one person or us or...
Joy says, thank you both for your continued inspiration. Well, likewise, Joy.
Yes, thank you, Joy.
All of you really inspire us, that's for sure. That's why we keep doing it, honestly. Like, this is a free event, so but it's very special having this community. There's nothing like it for us anyway. Ricky says, I like VCJ because it allows or forces me to devote time specifically to collage, either finishing something or responding to the prompt.
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
I think having something that means you keep an appointment with your artist self is actually a really great thing, whether it's a class or a workshop or just you've arranged with a friend that you're going to, like the third Tuesday of every month, you're going to do something, or this, right? It gives you a structure, and okay, if I don't get anything else done this month or this week or whatever, that time I'll set that aside. And it is amazing how much you can get done in little regular hits, right?
Yeah. I feel the same way. I have a co-working group that I've been away from for quite a while, but I'm easing back into joining it, and it's for creatives. So It's very nice. So some people, we come on and explain what we're going to do for the focus block of the session, and some people are going to paint, and some people are going to write, and so on. So it's not interactive like this, but it still provides an impetus, and that's a good thing. This is lovely because it also has the chat, the more social side of things.
But there's a reason why we have always got together to do things together, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's sort of like one against the world, it's very daunting. But if you sit down at a table with some people and work on it together,
suddenly it becomes
like
manageable.
Yeah, like whether it's a quilting bee or a barn raising or
knitting circles.
Yeah, exactly. All of these things.
Ruth is signing off. It says thanks and have a great week. So
it's right. Likewise.
She just needs to go, obviously.
Yeah.
So thanks for
Thank
coming,
you,
Ruth.
Yeah.
Great to see you here.
The reason I paused there is I thought, whoa, were we way
No,
over time?
no.
Okay, yeah.
No, 10 minutes. And thank you, Rebecca, for letting me know. The little tiny pieces of paper that Kal is cutting out. It's amazing. Smaller than confetti, I'll tell you. Makes confetti look giant. Oh,
the confetti that blocked the freeway.
I suddenly got a major hankering for sashimi. Nice big platter of sashimi.
She's ready.
Yeah. But our favorite place isn't open today.
You probably get some very good sashimi on the West Coast there.
Oh, I think so. I think I will enjoy eating some there. I haven't ever been to the islands off BC. I've only been to Vancouver Island to go to Victoria, which, while Victoria is lovely, I was only there for a short time en route to Vancouver, staying with a friend, and I didn't get to see all the beauty that is the rest of the island. So Jane is saying goodbye.
All
She
right.
has to
Thank
head
you,
off.
Jane. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Always nice to have you along.
She can't wait to see your finished product.
Me either, Jane. Me either.
I think there are quite a few people that are lobbying for you to finish this one, so
yeah,
bear that in mind.
I am bearing that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa Kemp says, I belong to one too. It's great to be amongst creative people. In ours, there's interaction and dancing as well, so it's fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. Wow. Interaction and dancing. That sounds great. Speaking of dancing, that reminds me, tomorrow I'm doing my 3rd ever open mic event. I'll be singing a couple of songs in Streetsville at an Irish pub there.
That's right. What's the name of the pub? Do you remember?
I'm sure it's pronounced differently than this. I'm going to call it Cuchlain's. Cuchlainn''S.
Right. And it's in Streetsville. And what time do you hit the stage, Kim?
Probably around 9.
Right.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. So
he puts me. The event starts at 8:00, and the MC starts us off with performing 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah.
Which is great because he's awesome. He's a wonderful professional singer, songwriter, and guitarist. But I have a deal with him to put me in at the early end because
we're old.
I and Kal and my audience, should any show, 3 people did show up last time, so I was glad that I was on early. We're not inclined to stay up till all hours anymore, although we may have been like that in our youth. Certainly not out and about till all hours. No. Even if I'm awake at all hours, I'm not out and about. The fact that I've there's the. Can you pass the packaging for the doll? The plastic further left. Clear plastic packaging. Yeah. I found the message that came with my doll.
All right. Hit us.
What I should do is copy it and attach it to the bottom of the doll, maybe.
Yes.
Success. That's what Seiko means, I think. The word Seiko that's on the bottom here.
Right.
My spirit inspires and motivates. To release my potential in every area of your life, aspire to do and be the best you can. Use your dreams of success as inspiration in your quest to achieve your goals and overcome setbacks. So that also is very nice.
I'll say. Well, I think we know that I'm not getting anywhere near done with this one.
No, but you can do that contrast thing again and hold it up to the camera.
Definitely show you progress.
Yeah.
Such as it is. Such as it is.
Yeah.
Is it a time such that I should do that?
It's 3:55,
Okay. All
so
right. Well,
you give it a couple more minutes,
all
and
right.
then
a couple more things then.
and then it would be good to do that.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys post in our Facebook group.
Yeah.
The problem is there are a lot of cars and trucks in this image, and they all have
little shadows. Yeah. And you decided to take that on as your project.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah. Are you having second thoughts about it now?
A little bit. But I mean, that is, I often bite off more than I can chew, and then I have to decide whether I'm going to.
Well, I think you're pretty much required to.
In this one, yes.
Follow through on this one.
I am.
I also would enjoy seeing what it looks like with the color behind it, because
to show through the image or show
through all the cutouts,
right,
because the cutting mat that you're on is very similar in
it is. It doesn't
color
you're
to
not
the
really seeing the progress very easily.
No,
Because of
it pretty much looks like the photograph.
Yeah, if I were cutting on an orange cutting mat, it would be a different
That's
story.
right.
Help me too, because then I would feel like I've actually made some progress.
That's right. Just decided that a square of chocolate was necessary.
That's a good decision right there, Kim.
Oh, look at that.
It's kind of funny seeing brights where you expect the shadows to be.
That's
its
charm.
Yeah. But something else that might
Reversing.
be interesting is to see
what a pure black looks
pure
like.
black, because none of those, well, very few of them anyway, were full black. So that's another thought that I'll take a look at, because it'd be more graphic. It's definitely a subtler thing, but it's still kind of interesting.
I don't like it as much because the overall values are
it's
too dark.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely something like this, or maybe like yellow, or
what about is there like a blue, like a peacock blue?
There is.
Just for fun, because it'll be a darker value than this color potentially.
Just have to get it out.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, see that for me that works better than the black.
Right, yeah.
Because you've got an intensity play.
Yeah. But something that might also be interesting is just
like
this is this takes it away. It abstracts it a lot more to see the. I'll hold that a little closer to the camera.
That would be good.
Once I get it raised here, just because we can see. I like things in abstract work that you can definitely feel like they make sense. They come from something. They're very specific, right?
But you really can't quite figure out what they are.
You might or might not be able. When I'm done, you might be able to figure. Oh yeah, it's got something to do with highways, or not. And if it's or not, when I'm done and I flip it over, this might be the way it goes, just because of that. So yeah. And then it'll just be a case of what do you show through it. So.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
it's 4 o'clock, Cal.
It is. All right. Well, then I should.
You might want to switch the camera.
I will switch the camera.
I really love the way the trees look.
Yeah, the trees are
shadows.
Great. Yeah,
they're beautiful. The distortions and.
Actually, I was just before I switched the camera, I just happened to land on some red, and that's also kind of nice,
isn't it?
Flat and graphic. This is the earlier one that I only cut a few of the roads out.
Right.
When I was sane. So, all right. So back in a sec, guys, to sign off.
Yep. We haven't gone anywhere.
There we go. All right. So thank you again for collaging with us. And so our next one is in 2 weeks. Can you take a quick gander at the calendar and see when that is in early May? I think it's just like the 10th or 11th, but Kim will tell us in a moment. And no, it wouldn't be 10th or 11th.
It's the 8th.
8th, yeah. So that week will be a banner week for Virtual Collage Jam because we'll have Virtual Collage Jam normally on the Monday.
And then Saturday.
Then on the Saturday as well
at
the Gladstone. Exactly. So lots to look forward to in early May. So,
and just so you know, the 22nd is 2 weeks from the Monday Collage Jam on the 8th, but that's our Victoria Day. So we've had World Collage Day, so we'll skip a week and we'll be back on the 29th. So the 8th, the 13th, and the 29th.
Right. So a little unusual rhythm, but it will work well. So post your masterpieces in Virtual Collage Jam group on Facebook, and we'll go take a look and see what you cooked up. Meanwhile, keep on collaging, and hope you can join us at World Collage Day, either online or in person.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was the first time we did it.
It was indeed. So,
yeah.
Okay. So, thanks very much, guys, and take care.
All the best.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.